It's a Saturday night. You've gone out drinking with some of your friends from university. You get absolutely hammered, like an idiot, not even taking into consideration that you've got to be at Zara's house tomorrow to finally meet her parents. You and your friends decide to leave the club and head home. You were supposed to be the designated driver. Do you attempt to sober up and drive, or do you take a cab? You decide to take a cab. You wait outside for a taxi to go by, but none do. A greasy looking man stops by the club in a yellow car and asks if you need a ride. Like a fool, you say yes, and you all get in. The driver has his way with all of you. You shouldn't take rides from unlicensed cab drivers. Retry. You attempt to sober up and drive. You and your friends get into the car and start driving. Everything seems cool. You suddenly kick into top gear and start revving through the streets. Your friends get excited thinking they're on a roller coaster and you don't know what you're doing. You've just got your foot down. You see a golden unicorn crossing the street in front of you. Do you brake hard to a stop or run it over? You brake hard to a stop, realizing the unicorn is just an ordinary horse with a police officer riding it. He gets off and asks for your license and registration. You reek of alcohol, so he performs a breathalyzer test on you. You're as drunk as a bum. Looks like you're going to prison. Retry from last checkpoint. You run the unicorn over and then brake to a stop. You and your mates get out of the car giggling and you see that you haven't run over a unicorn. You've just hit a regular horse and there's an unconscious police officer lying next to it. You see his gun and pick it up and shove it in your back pocket. Don't know why you did that. It looks like both of his legs are broken, so you can't let him walk home. Especially now that his horse is dead, he can't even ride home. You have a choice. Call for the police and ambulance or take him to the hospital in your car. You call the police and tell them what has happened. They arrive within minutes and beat down and arrest you and your friends. Sometimes, I just feel like you're the dumbest person in the world. Go back and take him in your car. You decide to take the officer to the hospital yourself. You hold him by the legs and your friends grab his arms and you swing him into the boot of the car. You rush back into the driver's seat and sprint off towards the hospital. The hospital is about 10 miles away and you don't have enough petrol to make it there, so you pull over to the petrol station to refuel. You stumble out of the car and ask your friends to fill up the tank while you go inside the shop and sober up with some coffee. You drink some coffee and go to pay for it along with the fuel. You go to pull out your wallet but accidentally take out the officer's gun. Now the assistant thinks you're robbing the store and begins to panic. Do you rob the store or do you drop the gun and run away? You attempt to rob the store. Unlucky for you, the shop assistant is an avid gamer and keeps an AA-12 near the till. He picks it up and blows a load in your face. Retry. You decide to drop the gun and run away. Good idea, cause it looked like that assistant was reaching for something. You run to the car and notice your friend pissing into the petrol tank. There's definitely no time to refill, so you and your friends make a run for it as the assistant rushes out of the shop after you. A bus coming says its destination is the hospital. You run to the stop and you all get on safely and buy your tickets. Half an hour later, you arrive at your destination. You all rush to the counter and explain what happened. The person at the counter looks at you in shock and tells you this is a mental asylum and he thinks you'd all fit right in. 4 well-built security officers come out with a doctor and surround you, ready to take you in. Do you fight the security guards or do you submit to them and explain it's all just a big misunderstanding? You decide to fight the security guards. You throw a punch and it drops in mid-air. You're so drunk you actually forgot you're too drunk to fight. The security guards batter you and your friends. They take you all with the doctor so you can be examined. Maybe you should have taken it easy. You decide to explain everything, but the doctor is having none of it. All of a sudden, Lindsay Gohan dashes out of a room in a hospital dress, running and screaming like a nutjob. She diverts the attention of the guards while you and your friends make a run for it. She takes on all 4 of the guards and finishes them. She grabs the doctor by the neck and demands her property. The doctor reaches into his pocket and takes out a large bag of cocaine. Lindsay grabs the bag and giggles for joy and catches up with you guys. She offers you a safe ride home for helping her break out of the mental asylum. Do you accept or do you find your own way? You decide to find your own way. Lindsay takes it to heart and beats you down. She makes you eat her giant stash of coke and you die. Never piss off a druggie. Take a ride with Lizzie. You decide to take a ride with Lindsay. She uses the payphone to make a call for a car to pick you guys up. 10 minutes later, a limo shows up and takes you guys to a party out of the city. You arrive at a mansion booming with good music and filled with fine ladies. You enter the scene and your friends split up and you're left roaming the party when you just want to go home. You see a bunch of people starting up a Modern Warfare 3 game and you ask to join in. They're having a free-for-all and the winner gets to take a copy of the game home. Since you don't have one, you put your try-hard pants on. There are only 2 classes, one with the PM9 and one with the ACR. Which do you choose? You choose the PM9. The recoil is disgustingly bad and you lose the free-for-all. Should have chosen the ACR. You choose the ACR and completely decimate everyone. And it turns out one of the guys you were playing was Robert Bowling, the creative strategist for the game. You tell him you need to get home and he calls in a support helicopter for you and gives you 2 copies of the game, for you and for Zara. The helicopter takes you home so you can finally get some sleep to wake up early to meet Zara's parents tomorrow. You arrive at the front door and enter your house. 2 police officers are waiting at the dining table with your mother. To be continued.